a social media influencer and spokesperson. She is not limited by any particular thing. She has earned the right to pursue all of her interests, which include fashion, beauty, tech, entertainment, food, travel, culture, art, lifestyle, relationships. She is the author of 2 books, Love in the Digital World and Live the Life You've Always Dreamed of Living. And she has degrees in life force coaching, psychology, film, and yes, she's also a lawyer. Lori Moreno, please give her a hand.
Hi, everybody. I'm Lori Moreno, and I'm really excited to be here with this panel of experts. You know, it's one thing to be involved with social media, to have followers, to be active, but it's really another thing to learn how to collaborate and create communities, and it's something that's always intrigued me. So I'm really honored to have these experts who are doing it, who are out there in the field every day, and I'm excited to share with you what they're doing. What I've decided to do is to keep this informal and have each of our experts within 1 to 2 minutes say who they are, what company they're with, and give a little bit of bio about where they've come from and where they're at now. But we'll delve in further, so bear with us. So first, Alexa.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Alexa. I'm Alexa Rose Carlin on social media. I'm the founder of the Women in Power Expo, which is the largest women's event coming to Fort Lauderdale, October 15th, 1 month away. And I grew a community online, mostly through Periscope, actually, called the Good Vibe Tribe. And we now have 30,000 members, and it's just been an incredible journey.
Hi, my name is Thomas Chambers. My company is Denison Yacht Sales. I'm the marketing director for the company, and we built our company through organic events, and really our goal is to get people on the water, to get people to enjoy the lifestyle that is boating. And we do that based here in South Florida, but we have 20 locations across the country, so it's a tall order.
Good morning, everyone. How's everyone doing today? All right, happy to be here. Lori, thank you for the invite as well.
Love you.
And I'm really impressed. First, walking through here, this is really, what a great venue, what a great space, what great energy here in the room right now. My name's Steve Green, at Steve Go Green on the socials. My company is #FoodieChats. Anybody participate ever? Raise your hand. All right, I love one person. Maybe we'll get some more after today. But my history, just going back a little bit, is one night, May 9th, 2011, I tweeted, "What's everybody having for dinner tonight?" But that particular tweet, I added the #FoodieChats to it. About 5 people answered. I asked another question, about 20. It went on for 5 hours. It trended worldwide, and somebody said, "Is Foodie Chats every Monday?" And I was like, sure, why not? I'll see you next Monday night. And here we are. This past Monday was our 280th straight Monday night, hosting a Twitter chat, a sponsored Twitter chat. This past Monday, Sartori Cheese was our sponsor, so we got to make all these great recipes, and we got to send 10 ambassadors a great care package of cheese. And one thing we did was we made cauliflower pizza. Anybody ever make cauliflower pizza before? All right, it was pretty good, actually, so we're gonna keep trying. So that's the community. It's where the foodie community chats together every Monday night, and we've kept evolving. We're working on a lot of cool, exciting things. So glad to be here. Excited for the panel. Thank you.
I guess my package got lost in the mail, Steve. But
I'll send you the caviar package. That one.
I always give Steve a hard time. So what I'd like to know from this great panel is, first of all, did you plan to create your communities? Was it intentional when you started online? How did it evolve from the time you got online and where it's at right now?
Yeah, so when I first got on social media, it took me a very long time to grow any type of following. And by the way, I forgot to introduce this little one up here. This is Nala, the toy poodle, on Instagram. She's part of my Good Vibe tribe. So really, it was with live streaming that a community really evolved. And I definitely think that was because live streaming is so authentic, so real. And I was completely vulnerable. There was no editing, no filtering. I would go on live. I have a morning motivation with Alexa, which is Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And this is what really grew the community, the consistency of like, okay, I'm gonna wake up with Alexa, she's gonna motivate me. And through that, I had the same people tuning in. I do it from my bedroom. I do it with no makeup on. So it's relatable. And really, my community named themselves. They're like, okay, we need a name for all this positivity we're spreading. And so we're like, oh, we're spreading the good vibes. Let's call ourselves the Good Vibe Tribe. And that's really how it evolved. But I would say it's all about being authentic and real, and that's what allowed me to grow such an engaged community.
So how did you live stream? What did you use to do that?
Started with Periscope. I was on Periscope 1 week after the launch. I spoke at the Periscope Summit in New York City, the first one, and I just loved the platform. That was before Facebook Live or anything like that, and it was just really different how I can connect in real time. And I'm a public speaker. I speak at colleges all across the country, so I love that in-person connection. And with Periscope, now Facebook Live, and YouTube's coming out with live streaming, then you're able to have that conversation. So it's not just like someone that commented on my Instagram page, but who are you? Where are you from? Why are you tuning in? What dream are you working to accomplish? How can I be there to support you?
That's great. Thomas?
Yeah, so first of all, I also do social media without makeup on in the morning. Secondly, really, our goal has always been to organically grow it, but just like marketing in general, which social media falls under that umbrella, it happens sporadically, it happens spontaneously, and we have to be able to adapt. And that's something that we take pride in, is making sure that we get people to enjoy the dream. It's not something that we can just have exist on social media. We want them to share that with us. So whether that's sending us a video or a photo of what's going on Labor Day weekend on the water, we want to engage with our clients, with our friends, with our customers, and just make them feel like we're all in the same water, whether it's in South Florida or in Seattle, Washington. It's something that we're striving to do in our industry, in the yachting industry. I think we're still in the infancy stage of social media, but we're grateful and we're excited to be part of that forefront of engaging people through primarily Facebook and YouTube, because nothing speaks more than video to me, especially when it comes to seeing a pretty cool boat on the water and wanting to be part of that. Whether you can afford it or not, you can still be part of that conversation.
Steve?
So I never intended on starting a Twitter chat. I don't even think I really knew what Twitter chats were. But for me, social media has been always the wild, wild west for me. I was always experimenting with different aspects. And it kind of started a little bit before, when I would participate in the hashtag conversations during like the Video Music Awards or the Grammys. It made watching a 4-hour show a lot more fun to kind of chat with everybody after each award was announced or each performance. So I started getting into hashtags, and then just one night it just kind of happened where I was like, what's everybody having for dinner? Hashtag foodie chats. But it probably stemmed from probably years back of creating communities and creating events, and all the way back to AOL Instant Messenger for me, probably of chatting on there and meeting people back in like 1997, involved in that. So I think it was destined that I always wanted to create communities of hosting live events, and the Twitter chat I think it just happened for me. And then now with the Twitter chat and hosting live Monday nights as well, actually getting together and tweeting live with people, the live Twitter chats, it just started. But it's been an amazing ride. I've never been somebody who's been like consistently doing everything. So I'm blown away myself that for 280 straight Mondays, I've never missed a foodie chat. It's actually kind of wild.
And I have to attest, I mean, our friendship has evolved through your community. I mean, I went to Chicago for some business, and you said, come be my star guest at my foodie chat at a restaurant, and then in LA, and now in Miami. It's pretty amazing. So I'd like for each of you experts to tell us, how has your community evolved, like in ways that have surprised you, and where do you want to see it go?
It's always so surprising. It's really crazy how social media gives you the opportunity to make real connections with people all around the world. I've had, it's evolved so much from people just following me to receiving emails of how I inspired them to share their story and to pursue their dreams. So I had a very wild experience 3 years ago when I was in college. My body went into septic shock, was given a 1% chance of living, and I was in a coma for a while. And I share this story through public speaking, but Periscope was the first time I shared it on social media. And there was this broadcast that had over like 500 live viewers. So when it was done, it was about 3,000 people that tuned in live. And I was hysterical crying, sharing my entire story, so vulnerable and not just different than what we normally see on social media. And after that, that's when everything changed. I started to share my journey with people. There was days when I didn't feel well, but guess what? I still went live on Periscope at 10 a.m. and I shared what I was going through. And this was like, wow, she's still accomplishing her dreams. She's still working towards something that's meaningful, and she doesn't feel good. You know, maybe I can do it too. And so that's when my community really evolved into more relationships. I got emails from thousands of people around the world saying, like, telling me their story and opening up to me like I was their best friend. And that's the beauty, like, of social media. It's not just pushing product. It's not just pushing your services. Yes, I made thousands of dollars through my community just by selling my tickets to my live events, Women in Power Expo, or some online programs or coaching, whatever it may be. But it wasn't going on thinking like, oh my God, I need to use social media to market my products or services. It was, I need to use social media to get my message across, to make a difference, to tell my story. And that's really how you stand out from all the noise, because nobody's you. Right? No, everybody might be selling beauty products here, or everybody might have an online program teaching how small businesses how to use social media. But why did you start that? Once you can relate to people personally, that's when they trust you, and once they could trust you, that's when they'll work with you, that's when they'll buy from you, and that's when your community comes from, it's a number of people that follow you, and now it's a community of friends you've created.
And where do you see it going?
All over the world. I mean, no. I have really big dreams and visions and goals for my community. Like I said, I'm creating the Women in Power Expo happening October 15th here in Fort Lauderdale at the Convention Center, and May 27th taking it to Washington, D.C., and then from there taking it to L.A. and to all big cities, and through that creating live events in local places where I can meet my community face to face. So I really see myself taking my social media community and connecting in person like we are, what we're doing today. Because still nothing replaces that face to face connection, but live streaming comes pretty close.
Yeah, so true. So Thomas, I would like to ask you the same question, how it evolved, where it's going, how has it changed, and where do you see your community going?
Sure. So about 2010 is really when we said, let's get into the social media world, and how it's been surprising, how it's evolved. It's a pretty fun ride. Like Alexa said, it's amazing how you want to separate yourself from the pack, and that's really our goal. Some things that have happened within our community, within our tribe that we didn't expect was the love of just the media-rich content, because it's easy enough to share something with just text copy, but the moment we put a photo, the moment we
Right.
put a face to that boat, the moment we put a video, it really, really brought them and said, this is a human being, this is not just a company. Our company name is Dennison Yacht Sales, ergo our mission is yacht sales. But we had to really deprogram ourselves from that and say, what is social media? It's not for selling yachts, really. Our goal is to engage with our community, to make them feel like we're part of the same family that is the boating world, the boating family, and really engage on that level. Something really cool that's happened has been some sales from different places like Instagram that you'd never ever think. We had one where on Instagram we posted one photo on a tender on a smaller boat, and instantly we had a person from Mexico comment on that photo and said, here's my email, contact me, I want a DM, I want to get this done now. And within a month standpoint, we had that boat sold. That's the ideal and that's what we want. That's really great. But how did that happen? I certainly don't believe that we did that with one Instagram photo. It took the nurturing of it. It took the engaging and talking to clients, talking to those who are interested in our brand and our what we offer to lead to that point. And many other things like that, whether it's buying a boat, selling a boat, or just really falling in love with the water, that's what we wanted them to do. How we look to have our community and our side grow, that's a great question. I think that we're really behind, to be very candid, on the live events. And we have boating events like boat shows that are upcoming, Fort Lauderdale Boat Show in Bahia Mar, Miami Boat Show here in February. It's at off of Collins Avenue. We want to have people think about Dennison Yacht Sales when they get there, and that's really the next
Right.
step, is getting them to live engage with us, having Facebook Live events, using Periscope, using all the social media aspects to think about Dennison, think about yachting, and be synonymous in that way.
Great, thank you. Steve?
It's been great to be a part of the Foodie Chats community. I know I'm the founder, but it's just been so great to be a part of it, where it started off as a Wild Wild West, where I would just make up questions on the fly. All of a sudden it was 8 o'clock and I would ask a question, and like at 8:09 I would think of another one real quickly, and it evolved to coming up with themes each week and writing the questions ahead of time and looking for pictures, and then obviously the sponsor aspect happened, so that took it to a new level. But it went from Twitter to Instagram to Periscope, Facebook Live, I mean, all across the board of using all social to bring it together. But my favorite part, without a doubt, is just the live component of it. We've traveled across the country hosting live foodie chats, Twitter chats, and meeting all of our friends. I have friends for life. We just came back from Philly, from one of my favorite ambassadors there, Homemade Delish, and we hung out all weekend. She planned all these exciting things for us to do. We were recently in Washington, D.C., and we met up with Lisa Comento, and she told us that she met her best friend in life now because of Foodie Chats, and they now have been hanging out for 2 straight years together, and they met because of Foodie Chats. And of course, I met Lori in Chicago. I think
know.
you were in the one in LA too, so
Yeah.
showed up in LA as well,
And
just
Miami.
and in Miami as well. So that's 3, which is, so that's by far my favorite part, just making friends for life on social media and just continually evolving. There's so many, obviously we all eat every day, and we're thinking about working on a Foodie Chats cookbook, really, bringing together all these amazing recipes that I'm so impressed by the community and how quickly they have answers on the fly. I mean, we asked a question at 8:10, and their answers are so creative and amazing. Like, I have all week to think about the answers, and their answers are better than mine in like a half a second. It's so incredible, and just how supportive everyone is. They want to share what others are up to, and they want to support each other to keep moving forward. And what a common thing to have, food. I mean, sharing a meal with someone is like the greatest thing ever. Obviously, a couple drinks added to that also makes it more fun and light as well. But it's such a great time to be here. I mean, what started as a Wild Wild West of social media is just adding more and more. And I love the stories of Periscope and Facebook Live and community, and starting a summit that you're doing. That's incredible, and just nonstop bringing people together online and live.
So true. I mean, my offline friends always say to me, how do you have like thousands of friends around the world? And I tell them, get online. You know, and I'm thinking, hearing you, it's not just this community and this community, they're all connected. It's like now you're all connected. You'll be friends online. And those relationships will go through the years, right? I would like to know, what are your 5 tips, and take your time, that you would share with people who are starting communities, thinking about it? What are your 5 tips?
Well, I know a few on top of my head. I don't know if I come up with 5 right this second. But number 1, be yourself. That's obvious. Like there's so much noise in social media that if you are not confident to speak your truth, stand up for what you believe in, and be vulnerable, be real, then you're going to get lost in the crowd. So that's tip number 1. Tip number 2 is take the time to engage. Like people talk about that all the time, but let me just tell you, for Instagram, I was on for years, and it took me so long to get 700 followers. And then all of a sudden, a couple months ago, I just started commenting. Instead of double tapping to like Instagram pictures, I commented on a picture. So I would search hashtag inspiration, hashtag quote of the day. I'm all into inspiration. As you could see, I have an inspirational tee on. And so with these hashtags, I would find pictures I like, and I would say, thank you so much for inspiring me, if they posted a quote or something. Or I would say, sending you good vibes. Thank you for being showing positive energy on Instagram feed. Literally, I would spend 3 minutes a day commenting on as many pictures as possible that obviously I liked. And my following went from 700 to 200 shy of 10,000 right now.
Wow.
In literally like 3 or 4 months, just from commenting. So take that extra time to not just double tap. I mean, everyone's double tapping, but really speak. And just like you would in a networking in-person event, you would not just tap on someone's shoulder.
Oh no, you like them.
Oh yeah, that's it. And walk away. You're gonna say hello. I like your outfit. I like your shoes, or something. And that's when people will say wow, they took the time to say something. They're gonna press on your profile, and then hopefully you have a good profile, and they'll follow you.
Could I ask you a question? So when you respond to people, what type of people do you seek out in Instagram, let's say?
Instagram, I seek out anybody that's putting out something positive. So inspirational quotes, entrepreneurship, success stuff, fashion, anything I'm interested in. So that's another tip is say if you are, I don't know, what's someone's business? If someone wants to raise their hand and tell me your business. Hotels. Okay, so what do you do for hotels? Okay, you do social media for hotels. Okay, so if you're trying to book some rooms during the off season, right? So you can show the rooms, you can talk about your pools and amenities, but everybody's doing that. So what's something that interests you? Yes, it's not gonna be, it's because a thing about businesses is that you have to humanize your brand, right? People don't follow brands, people follow people. Yeah. So I see brands all the time. Someone comments on a Facebook post or something, and you're the brand doesn't know how to respond. Guess what? Right. We know that a person is typing that comment back. It's okay to say hi, this is Ashley. I do the social media for Hilton, and humanizing that brand. But if you think about personally, okay, why would I pick that hotel? Is it because of the customer service? Right now, for example, there was a huge thing on Entertainment Tonight last night about how hotels don't clean sheets. You should definitely look into that. Yeah, you saw that? So then you can easily do tons of social media posts showing how you clean sheets. And that would probably go viral because that's kind of gross to be in a hotel that doesn't clean their sheets.
Oh, wow.
So something like that is kind of think of it from a personal standpoint when you're using social media as a brand, at least.
All right, I've got a couple. Number 1 is know who your audience is. It's so easy for, at least the way I use social media, when I go on Instagram or Facebook, think of how you use it to just scroll on your phone or just go down and And if it's not catching your attention instantly, you never go back to it, right? Is that an accurate assessment? So that's really what we want to think is, how am I receiving it? How will my clients, how will my people I'm engaging with inspiration or food or anything, how will they receive it? When you look at it that way and you reverse engineer it, it really gives them perspective and makes you kind of humanize yourself and see what needs to be done. How that happens goes down to what you're in, whether it's hotels or otherwise. Another thing would be reputation management. Really be aware of that. Recognize that you're not going to have all the answers to all the questions. Recognize on our side that we're not going to have every single customer 100% satisfied all the time. But if and when that happens, be there to immediately respond to them, to immediately engage with them on a human level. I love what was said here with Alexa, and explain that we're not perfect and we're going to make mistakes, but we're not just going to avoid that. Something that Comcast does, another company that we use, and heck, I have my issues with Comcast. If you're out there, I'm sorry, I do. but something they do awesome is, and we do this as well, but something they do is they have a Twitter feed where anytime you have a problem, you go to @ComcastCares, and you tell them the issue. And every time I've had an issue for my business or personally in my home, I use that, and instantly I get someone communicating. I've never had a problem with them following up and fixing the issue. Again, that's the same goal we have at our company is we're not going to be perfect. We're going to make mistakes, and if and when that happens, what are we going to do about it? And that's the goal I would give to everyone that's listening, is make sure you're ready to respond to that and have a plan of action. Another thing that I would recommend or suggest is engage with those around you. So whether it's something like this social media week or your coworkers or neighbors, ask them, can you promote this? What's the harm in asking, right? Hey, can you like this if you really do believe in it? For us, a lot of our engagement comes not just from the admin marketing side, but it comes from those that we work with in the industry, our brokers, and we just say, hey, if you really do love what we're doing, and you like what we have to offer, share it. And a lot of our engagement comes from that. So I heed and I implore you guys to just ask. Ask your parents, ask your friends. You never know how that reach will expand, but it will. I promise you it will.
That is so true. Great points. Wow. Steve?
So everyone's trying to start their own kind of community. Not everyone's trying to start a worldwide community. They're trying to start their community within their own business. So you don't always have to feel like you're creating the next something. You're just creating what works for you. 5 things. I would say the first one has to be you have to show up. If you don't tweet, no one can retweet you. If you don't Instagram, nobody can double tap or comment. So you have to at least show up. You got to show up at the event, show up in life. That's got to be the first one. Passion. Passion to me is everything. Like, if you share your passion, people get excited to be around you, which is my other one, excitement. People want to be around things that are exciting and positive is my other one. You've said engaging, like you have to engage with others, It's like that giver's gain philosophy. Look through people's social streams, and instead of commenting on the things that are just kind of there, comment on the ones that are dear to their heart. Because if someone does that Facebook post and nobody's liked it, and you're the one who liked it, but more importantly, commented on it with something meaningful, that's going to go such a long way in that person's day, week, month, year. They're going to remember you forever for that. So that's really important as well. And to me, the biggest one after you say those first 4, which is consistency. Just every day, you have to show up, just like you shared. No matter what, you're sick, you're tired, you don't feel like it, just show up. That humanizes you, that makes you more relatable to people, more vulnerable to people, and they want to share and support you more and more. So those are my tips, which are kind of basic tips in life. Passion, excitement, showing up, but they're everything. You got to go back to the basics. Once you make things all complex, that's when it kind of gets difficult.
I thought of 2 more.
Yeah, please.
He inspired us. I got 2 more as well.
You're the
2
panel
more.
of experts.
Okay,
Bring 'em.
so one is the Women in Power Expo. It's our first year, like I said, and we're expecting 2,000 to 3,000 people in our first year. And now I would have never been able to do that by myself. So what attributed to that is not thinking about how can I promote my event, my brand, but how can I promote the people involved? And so once you start thinking about your community versus like how many likes can I get, how many followers, or my community, think about them. Support them when they are speaking somewhere, like post about them, or like if they wrote an article in the Huffington Post, repost it and say like my good friend did this, because then they'll share what you do, and that's really how you create a worldwide movement, is thinking about them first. And my second thing that I just thought of was we're all branding ourselves, right? Every single person here has a personal brand. And if you didn't know that you have one, like I'm telling you, you have a personal brand. And so I share this in a lot of my talks that is very powerful, in my opinion. Remember this, your smile is your logo, your personality is your business card, and how you leave others feeling after an experience with you becomes your trademark.
Very nice. Very well said. Something that Steve said really inspired me. Content is king. That's one of the other ones. Is when you don't have something to say, a message to say, you could have the greatest of intentions, but it'll fall on deaf ears. You will never get anywhere with it. So just have enough content. The other thing is, connected to that, is think outside the box. And what I mean by that is, for us in yachting, there's a stereotype, I think, of being elitist or just being this type of person. And that's not the case at all. We want to make people forget everything they ever thought about for boating and say, this is a family thing. This is memories. This makes memories. Some of the greatest experiences I've had with our clients and our customers have been the stories. I used to go out with my dad fishing when I was 10 years old, and I'll never forget that. He's passed away, and now I want to get that to my children. It's those stories like that, which that was a true story, that really makes it all worthwhile. So the other part of that, the other side of the coin is we sell boats. We do yachting. What's related to that? You know, is it concierge services? Is it hotels? Is it luxury? Is it cars? Think about how that relates to you and what your brand or your business is. Think out not just in the exact same segment, but look outside and what's related, because you're one step away from being connected with that side of the community and increasing your reach and increasing your brand as a whole.
I love how this is all talking about empowering each other, and the way that Alexa and I met is a girlfriend of mine who took a course with me in New York 2 years ago about teaching about love with Gabby Bernstein, and now we're Spirit Junkie Sisters, is speaking at your event. And she's like, well, are you going to Alexa's event? And I'm pretty new to Florida, coming from LA, and I'm like, who's Alexa? Like a few weeks ago, and I looked up Alexa, and I contacted her, and now we're empowering each other at each other's events and empowering you. It's pretty amazing, and I love what you said, again, about just liking. You don't walk up to someone at a party and like them, you know, like you would on Facebook, or just retweet them. You actually talk to them and get to know who they are. I mean, I do deal with Comcast. Living in Florida now, it's like all the time. Comcast cares, and they're there on all the time. And some of my biggest clients have come through our Ambassadors VIP business, through just reaching out to brands. And I'm amazed by the brands out there who don't reach back out to you, who are just there and they don't follow people, they don't interact, and they're some of the biggest brands in the world. And I'm like, all right, well, I guess that's your stance, you know. And the beauty of social media is we're all on the same page. And when you get that, how you can, like Steve and I have known each other 7 years through social media. You know, when you can create such vibrant, helpful, empowering relationships, it's pretty amazing. So I think we've covered a lot. The other thing I want to ask you is, if you knew then what you know now about creating communities, would you have done anything different? And also, with time coming close, I want to ask, would you hire people, or is it better that you have the one-on-one? Is it good to have a staff? What do you think?
So I wouldn't say I would do anything different, because social media, there's no I don't believe there's a certain right way. There may be a wrong way to do social media, but I wouldn't say there's a certain right way because the more out of the box different you can be, the more you'll stand out. So I wouldn't say I would do anything different because every step I've taken has led me to where I am today. And so it's all a learning process. I always say throw a bunch of stuff on the wall and see what sticks. You know, if you sit back and you research and you try to learn and you just wait until you feel you're ready, like you're never going to be ready because every single day you could be better than you were yesterday.
Yeah.
So just start. If you want that blog, if you want to start that Instagram page or start live streaming, literally just go for it and you'll learn along the way. I've started 3 businesses. I'm 25. And every single time I've started a business, I just did it. And I grew it all on social media alone with zero capital. And that's really the power of social media. You can start a business. It's free marketing. What was the second
I was
question?
talking about, is it good, we were talking about
Oh, staff.
being personal. Is it good to have a staff? Is it always good just to be you?
So my brand is Alexa Rose Carlin. So I would never hire someone to take over Alexa Rose Carlin on social media. For Women in Power Expo, now we have an Instagram, a Twitter, a Facebook.
Yeah.
I still manage the Facebook, but I have people I work with that help me with the Instagram. It's different branding, and I actually like it more because, like I said, we're highlighting our speakers, our influencers, the people attending the event. It's not about me, it's about we. And so for that, I need a team to help me manage it all. But I would say for your personal brand, I would never recommend hiring someone.
I agree.
What would I do different than that I'm doing now? Well, 2 things. One, don't be afraid to fail. I think there was a hesitation when we jumped into the social media world of thinking, well, we just need to get out information and let it cultivate itself. There's definitely some truth to what Alexa said with throwing the old maxim in marketing, throw something on the wall and see what sticks. But I would differ a little bit in that for us, it's let's throw something, but let's have some story behind it. Let's have an idea of what we're throwing out there. And that was our problem, I think, is just throwing something out there. So don't be afraid to fail. We've had other social media handles that we tried. For instance, we have 20 locations, and at one point we said, why don't we create a Dennison Yacht Sales page for Seattle, for Marina Del Rey in California. All of those things absolutely failed because it was splintering the brand as a whole. And we don't want to do that. But I'm glad we did it because I would not have known otherwise. Conversely, when we weren't afraid to fail, we gave someone in our company, which goes to the next question, we gave someone in our company, a broker named Alex Clark. We said, go on Instagram, learn everything you can about it, and really just engage with people. And he has, to this day, starting in 2012, gained 83,000 followers, made multiple sales, which we've talked about, and really just connected with people and made relationships. And that's because he wasn't afraid to fail, and we weren't afraid to encourage him and empower him so that he can empower others. So to answer the other question more directly, we have a team. We don't try to fool around and say, I'm not good at video, but I'm going to try and become great, because we have that luxury of doing so. Maybe you don't. But we like to specify on specific things. So we have a videographer that's in-house. All he does is drones, photos, videos. Don't worry about anything else. We'll have someone else. We have someone that directly engages on the social media aspect. Sharon, raise your hand. Come on, Sharon. Give it up for Sharon. She's really wonderful. Yes. She's awesome. Since she's come on board with us, we've had 3,000 plus likes to our company on Facebook each week.
Right.
That's an incredible exponential growth because she has taken that hold and said, I'm going to engage with people. I'm going to consistently share my message and have a consistent message to share. My goal and my purpose is to work on the digital aspect, on creating that contact, and also just that reputation management. So if you have those people around you that can be dedicated to specific things, I highly encourage that. But make sure that they're all on the same page as you, because if you start sending different messages, you'll start to lose what that brand is. And for us, the tagline of our company is an American yachting family since 1948. There's 3 generations of Dennisons in our company, and we want to share that story. Anytime someone else that works on that takes away from it, we've lost, and we don't
Right.
ever want to do that. So never try to do that either.
Great.
I think it would be hysterical to go to a party and start double tapping people when you liked what they said.
I liked you.
Right?
Like, that was a good comment. And if you don't like it, you don't tap them. I mean, there's lots of things in my life that I wish I did differently. I mean, there's a ton. I probably have a whole laundry list of that. But when it comes to foodie chats, no, it just happened by accident, and it just kept organically growing. And to me, the organic aspect is everything. I wouldn't trade that in for anything in the world. It just kept evolving one by one, and it was really just listening to the community.
Yeah.
You know, the community said,
a great point.
hey, what's the theme tonight? We gave them a theme. The community said, when are you going to do live events? We did live events. The community said this. So it was just, I was just the messenger for this foodie community, just listening to what the community wanted and giving back to them, because Foodie Chats is where the foodie community chats together. It's not where Steve Green does a monologue every Monday night or throughout the week to people. So it's been such an incredible journey, and I'm sure if I want to try something new, like if I try a recipe book or if I start a conference, I'm sure there's lots of things I could do wrong. But when it comes to building a community, I mean, the organic aspect to me is everything. So, and then the other part is, what's the other part again? Oh yeah, a team. Oh,
Thank you, Thomas.
a team is everything. So yeah, like I love hiring. Like we hire people all the time, independent contractors. We just hired somebody full time who moved to New Zealand. So she just moved there a couple weeks ago. Her pictures are amazing so far, and the time zone is amazing. So when she wakes up in the morning to start working at 8 in the morning, it's like 4 p.m. our time, which is a better time of day to start engaging socially online. Most people work during the day, but in the evenings, most people are not. So that's pretty cool. And when it comes to the Foodie Chats voice, I mean, sure, we wanted to be really protective of it was just us, but it's so great to open it up to other people that we're always looking for new people. So when you're looking for new people, you just have to start a conversation with somebody which is looking again through their stream to seeing what they're up to and commenting on that. That's an amazing recipe, or how did it taste, or really a lot of small talk when it comes to being in the foodie space of talking about food. So yeah, the more the merrier, but we do. Angela right there, Angela's part of the Foodie Chats team, so. Angela and I rock it out. Like we love just working all day, every day on it, you know, from creating videos to creating our own content. So it was very tough for us to let go and let somebody else be the voice, but I think the way to keep expanding and really growing Foodie Chats more and more is we have to open it up and open the family up to other people.
To Steve's point, I would have some recommendations if you are looking to outsource, because they don't have to, when you outsource, present the message. They're just bringing you tools to convey that message. One thing we use is Fiverr and Upwork. It's an online resource for you hiring freelancers. It could be anything from building a website to finding media, photos, videos. There's a bunch of things out there. Another thing we also use is a website called canva.com,
Right.
C-A-N-V-A.com. We love it. It's a free resource that creates different things for social media, thumbnails, photos, different things, whether you like or comment. It's all there. So those are some of the things we use, and they don't cost an arm and a leg. We don't have a budget to do that, nor should we have to think about it. But they really pay for itself, and I think that's some of the things you do as well.
Yeah, Angela discovered Canva, and it's
I love it.
amazing. Like we don't need a designer. We don't to pay somebody to spend 4 hours doing it, but it's
Yeah.
really the knowledge transfer, which is what takes so much time. So we're not designers, but Canva, amazing.
It's great. This was a phenomenal panel. You are a bunch of incredible experts. And what I heard from you is, one, get started. Makeup or no makeup. Like or no like. Just do it. 2, offer great value, great content. Listen to your community, and it just starts growing, and let it grow. And I mean, I've watched yours, and I'm starting to watch yours, and I know yours from my fiance, Mr. Yacht Broker. But anyways, I don't know if we have questions. We've gone pretty long, but does anyone have a question here? We could do it real quickly. Yes? Can you hear?
Mike, I got you. Let me get you a mic.
I don't know if that's a live mic there. No.
Hi. Okay, so I know we're talking about organic communities, but when it comes to ads, I don't know if you all do ads at all. Do you feel like you would take the same approach?
I mean, so you have to see what type of business. Like, obviously, all three of us have different types of businesses, so that's why our answers differ a little bit. So for me, for an ad for Women in Power Expo, say on Facebook, I would take the same approach to make it personal, relatable, showcasing our people that are involved, our faces. Because if you're just, if I'm just posting, I don't know, something like buy your tickets and showing the convention center, people might pass over it versus showing 10 of our speakers in front of the convention center all holding tickets and be like, get your tickets now. That may attract more people to click on it.
For me, we definitely use ads as far as our marketing, but we separate them. Are they marketing ads? And they'll be very salesy. Just here's the boat, here's the price, are you interested, talk to us. But on social media, we definitely want to stay consistent with that message. For instance, we just finished 2 weeks ago, we had a Bimini rendezvous. We had a bunch of our clients go on their boats and head out to Bimini and to have a few days there. We want to share that message. So we certainly did some Facebook promotions and boosted our ads, but the message was the same.
Right.
Hey, these people had a lot of fun, and it was something that created memories within their own tribe of family, and then they created memories with those that were strangers, and now they're friends. They did that on a human level in boating. We just want to communicate that message via social media. So just depending on how you do it, you can certainly be consistent with it.
I mean, with Facebook now, I guess you have to pay to promote a post or nobody sees it. So, you know,
Yeah.
I mean, the food photo could look the best ever, but they don't allow anybody to see it. But it's kind of like on Twitter, I guess, we can send all these ads out for people to join us on Monday night, and then we can get a bunch of random people. We can host an event, do some ads, and get a bunch of random people. Or we work our tail off and
Right.
spend hours targeting exactly who we want to show up. And then those are the quality events. So I would rather have an event with 50 quality people live. I'd rather have a Twitter chat with 400 quality people than thousands of people who have nothing to do with it. They're not going to share. Like, the worst thing is when we have events where we invite people to meet us live for a Twitter chat, and then you check later on and they didn't send a single tweet. Like, I feel like if you did an ad, maybe like that would do that. And I'm not making ads wrong. Like, I mean, they're all, you know, you got to look at your strategy. I mean, if you're selling yachts, probably, you know, or boats, you probably have to do some ads here and there. But if you're doing more, you know, focused communities of that, I just think that personal touch. Like, it started for me. I think you might have been at the event, but my first event ever in January of 2008, I personally invited every single person. I didn't do one out loud marketing. It was all behind the scenes, and the amount of thank yous that I got was how cool that was that I invited them, and it was all a personal message. It wasn't even really a copy paste. It took a lot more time and I was exhausted, but I think it paid off for building an authentic community of really like-minded and supportive, positive people.
Yeah, great. Well, our time is over, and I really appreciate you all being a part of this incredible panel. I've learned a lot from you, and I hope you all have as well. So I really
Thank you so
applaud
much for having me.